The Nintendo Switch 2 has been a great sell for Nintendo and quite widely well received, but there's one element of it that hasn't been really received, and it's currently discounting less than a couple of months after release, and it is the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. I've seen multiple listings on different websites for these things already going for a little bit off, which, if you know anything about Nintendo, it's not normally a good sign. They don't really discount products or accessories that often. What's one thing you can try, and one thing it's kind of cool that they introduced, which may have affected their sales maybe? Let's show you. And this is why you shouldn't buy a Switch 2 camera if you have one of these. This right here is a Logitech webcam. I think this is the Stream Cam. I'll put the name of it on screen, but it's actually quite a unique webcam. Not that it really affects what we're going to do here today, but it's a webcam that can stream portrait and landscape, which is pretty cool, especially if you want to do something like a TikTok live or one of those like phone app live stream things. You can stream like portrait, which I think is quite cool. That's what I mainly use this for. Well, Dan, why have you got this big camera on screen, and what are we going to do with it? You might know that on the Nintendo Switch 2 it has a USB slot on the top. Now if we plug said camera into said USB slot, the camera has been connected, now using the microphone. Well, what can we do? There doesn't seem to be much life on the camera. There should be a light around here. But if we go into our settings, and once we're in our settings, if we scroll all the way down to controls and accessories, you're going to see something kind of interesting in here. You're going to see a couple of settings, and we have update Switch 2 camera, which if we click this button, it's not going to do because it's not one of the official Switch 2 cameras. One thing I do like about the Switch 2 camera, which I'll say why I'm here, is I do quite like the piranha plant one. I think that was quite cool, quite nicely themed. So to test this camera, we go down, we hit test USB camera, and look at that. We have our Switch 2 there. And if we point it in, we can do one of those cool little effects where we create something a bit trippy looking. But yeah, we have our USB 2 camera working. You can see the phone, but there, as you can see, there's the light. We'll just go back. One cool thing about this camera is as well, you can easily mount this on a TV. Hell, if you even really wanted, and you wanted to be, you know, take that length of cable with you, you could put this on top of the Switch. I'm not going to say this is the best, you know, way to Switch game, but it's definitely something. So well, the camera does just kind of sit. It's more of like a gravity thing. Obviously, it's not meant for moving around. But you can easily sit this on top of your TV and plug it into your Switch 2 when it's docked, and that'd be perfectly fine. But I do think it's an interesting way, and there is a person on Reddit who has tested or somehow knows that this list will put the list on screen along with the link to the Reddit post below of all the cameras that seem to work. I just know this one works, but I don't see why some wouldn't. And one of the most interesting ones on that list was the PS2 iToy camera, which I thought was really cool. It would be a terrible picture, and it would be worse than the one on the Switch 2 currently, but what a weird one to try. Same with the PS3 camera, that apparently works. I do remember you used to be able to hack the PS3 camera. You used to be able to use some software to use the PS3 camera on a PC. That was kind of cool. That's something I did back in the day. But yeah, what do you guys think of this? Was this this was kind of a weird thing, I think, for Nintendo to do, or maybe they knew people weren't going to go out and buy a whole new camera, or maybe it was a way to get people into using the camera or trying out the camera. I have no idea. I always think it's kind of a weird idea. Unless you're streaming or something, why would you want a camera recording you anyways while you're playing games? But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Have you tried this, and what camera have you tried it with if you have tried it? Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.